This week OpenAI did something no AI lab has ever done. It hit the brakes on its most powerful model because the model got too good at hacking. Nvidia agreed to backstop $105 billion so OpenAI can keep building anyway. Pennsylvania just made itself one of the hardest places in America to build a data center. And Google still hasn't shipped Gemini Pro. This is AI This Week. Start with the biggest story of the summer. OpenAI is pausing development on its next major model, codenamed Astra, because its own evaluations suggest it may cross what OpenAI calls the critical cybersecurity threshold. That means a model that can independently find and exploit zero-day security holes and run complete attacks on hardened, real-world systems, with no human directing it. It's the first model OpenAI has ever been unable to rule out at critical. Every model before it stayed a level below. And the context makes it stranger. A week earlier, this same model solved 10 long open problems in mathematics, including a construction open since 1999. It didn't just assert the answers. It published machine-checkable proofs and a 249-page manuscript, so anyone can verify them without trusting OpenAI. Compute cost to find all 10, about $2,000. So, one model, simultaneously extraordinary at abstract mathematics and possibly capable of autonomous cyberattacks. That's the dual-use problem in a single system. This week OpenAI formalized its response. 2 weeks of deployment-focused training paused. Its largest planned frontier run on hold, government and third-party evaluators pulled in. Here's why this is the story. For 4 episodes we've tracked this thread, agents escaping sandboxes, labs disclosing breaches. Now the most commercially pressured lab on Earth has voluntarily paused the exact model it most wants to sell. But they're not canceling it. Altman still says Astra ships broadly, quote, "It's not a good strategy to keep powerful models to a chosen few." So the question isn't, is AI getting dangerous? It's who decides when a model is too dangerous to ship. And right now the honest answer is the company that stands to make money selling it. To the board, the strangest one we've run because the most important model on it is one you cannot use. Astra paused. Below it, the price war kept grinding. DeepSeek repost-trained its cheap flash model and gained 10 points on the Independent Intelligence Index, 40 to 50, at identical architecture and identical price. 14 cents per million tokens in, open weights, MIT licensed, now a top 3 open model. And China's ZAI shipped 2 GLM models in 1 week. And your regularly scheduled Gemini update. Still no Pro. Google's Flash line now runs 3.5, 3.6, and 3.7, 3 workhorse models in about 6 weeks, the newest at half the price of the one before it. Meanwhile, Pro has slipped past its 6th target date. Reporting says DeepMind scrapped the original build over tool calling failures. Prediction markets gave up on August and moved the bet to late September. Read the board top to bottom and you get the whole month in one frame. The cheap, open models ship every few days. The frontier flagships Gemini Pro, Astra are either too late to ship or too dangerous to ship. The easy models keep getting easier. The powerful ones keep getting harder. Last week Nvidia lined up $500 billion of AI financing in the abstract. This week it got specific. In an August 17th securities filing, Nvidia agreed to guarantee up to $105 billion of OpenAI's lease obligations on a giant new data center in Ohio, 4.25 gigawatts to start, roughly 8 if the option is taken. Built by SoftBank's energy arm on a former uranium enrichment site. Now the nuance, because the headline misleads. That $105 billion is not cash. It's a residual value guarantee. If OpenAI stops paying rent, Nvidia covers the gap between a guaranteed minimum and whatever the landlord recovers by reletting the space. It's also $145 billion lower than the figure reported in July. But look at the shape of it. Nvidia sells OpenAI the chips, And Nvidia backstops the lease that lets OpenAI afford the building to put those chips in. That's last week's circular financing worry now written into an actual securities filing. Even a bullish analyst called it a never-ending loop of AI deals. And one more deal runs on the same fuel. Elon Musk's SpaceX, which merged with his AI company xAI earlier this year, closed its $60 billion all-stock acquisition of Cursor, the AI coding tool a lot of you use every day. The largest startup acquisition on record, paid entirely in richly valued paper. And that's the pattern of the month. When your stock is worth this much, you can buy compute buildings and companies without spending $1 of cash. Which is either brilliant or exactly what people mean when they say bubble. 3 quick ones. First, ads arrive in ChatGPT across Europe on Monday, 31 markets confirmed by OpenAI itself. Free and low-tier accounts only, paid plans stay clean. And note the fine print, opting out changes which ads you see, not whether you see them. Second, and this one runs opposite to what you'd expect. Pennsylvania did not fast-track AI data centers. It did the reverse. Governor Shapiro signed an executive order pulling every AI data center project out of the state's fast-track program, requiring companies to secure their own power and win local approval before any permit, and banning the non-disclosure agreements these deals usually run on. Third state to move this way. All that compute has to live somewhere, and somewhere is starting to say no. And third, a builder heads up. A wave of model APIs retires on August 31st. Moonshot's Kimi K2.5 and the entire Moonshot V1 family, including its Vision Preview variants, plus Google's Gemini Robotics ER Preview. If you're calling any of those, this is your 1-week warning. So what do you do with all this? 3 things. 1. The Astra pause is a preview of your near future. Labs are now gating their own frontier models, so a model you build on today could get paused, restricted, or safety throttled tomorrow with no warning and no appeal. Don't hardwire your product to one model's availability. Keep a fallback and design so you can dial capability down, not just up. 2. The cheap open models are genuinely good now. DeepSeek's Flash gained 10 points on the index without changing its price or its architecture, and runs roughly 60% cheaper per task than the closed model it matches. If you haven't re-benchmarked since this price war started, you're almost certainly overpaying. And self-hostable open weights are a real option now, not a compromise. And 3, watch the financing, not just the features. Nvidia guaranteeing OpenAI's leases, SpaceX buying Cursor with stock. This industry runs on richly valued paper and circular deals. You can't control that, but you can build on real, paying users and costs you actually understand. So if the money weather turns, you're running a business, not a bet. That's the week. Watch list. Whether OpenAI resumes Astra or restricts it further. Whether OpenAI's public S1 finally hits Edgar. And yes, whether Gemini Pro ever actually ships. Subscribe and I'll see you next week.